Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are doing a Guerlain Get Ready With Me. I just really love the soft look of when I use these products. I've got a couple of options, like I've got 2 lipsticks, a couple of different blushes, but mostly I just have the stuff to do this one kind of look that I really like. I'm going to take you through my products kind of in the order I got them. So last autumn, I got my first Guerlain foundation in years, and it was this Terracotta tint. I wanted like a perfecting, slightly more full-on foundation to use for special occasions where I want to look quite flawless. And I think sometimes the more bold eyeshadow and lip looks that I do with the holiday releases kind of need heftier foundation to like pull them off. So I am 2N in this. It's a decent color match for me. Looking back now, I should have maybe got 1.5N because when they released the glow version, I got 2N, the same, and this seems a bit dark. So I then went back and got 1.5N, and I don't really use the 2, but I'm hoping that I get to use this up a bit this summer. I do usually go 1 shade deeper because I do protect my skin with SPF, but I still catch the sun a little bit, and I tend to go like a little bit deeper. And I also use face tanning drops if I want to match up with this area and stuff like that. So I will hopefully get some use out of the 2N. But I'm 1.5 neutral in this. I would say, I'm just going to swatch it. I'm not going to swatch all of them. I think it's quite bright and has a little bit of yellow in it for a neutral foundation, for a truly neutral foundation. The lights are going to make everything look really bright, but it's good on me. I like it. And I don't mind if my makeup pulls a bit warm. I'd rather that than it pull too cool or pink, because that really does not suit me. Okay, so let's go. I also have the concealer, and I am again in the shade N2, same. And that goes with either. Obviously, I saw a video the other day and she was saying you can't use a glowy foundation and a matte concealer. But I have to say I've never noticed this looking strange with this one. I only use my concealer super sparingly anyway. Then for eyes, next is still complexion. For bronzer, I've been buying this exact one for years, literally years. And I have... This is probably the 4th or 5th one. So this is the Terracotta Light, and I am in the number 2, medium, but the cool. Because the medium warm is just really yellowy, orangey. And remember, again, my lights make things look slightly different. I'm looking in real life, and then I'm looking in the screen, and I'm like, For blushes, I really like the Terracotta powder blushes, and I have 3. So there's the pinky one. They're calling it light nude, but it's a sort of a cooler pink. Then there's this one, which is the light coral. And then this one, which is weirdly my favourite, hardly shows up. But this is like a hybrid between a blush, a finishing powder, and a highlighter for me. It is 000 Pearly Beige. So those are the 3, and we'll try to maybe use a bit of all of them. I don't know. I would swatch them, but they hardly show on swatches because they're really, really subtle. But I will try. One thing I'd say about these is they have a quite strong sort of baby product smell, like baby powder, quite an old-fashioned smell, and it does slightly bug me because I don't notice it so much with the bronzer or any of these other products. You don't smell it for long after application, but it just, when I open them, there's a kind of a very dated, granny-ish, perfumey smell, but it's not like a luxury Dior or Chanel smell. It's strange. It to me smells like really cheap, really strong baby wipes. So there's that Pearly Beige one, there's the nude, and there's the light coral. But they translate nicely on the cheek. They're just very, that kind of watercolor translucent, you need to build them up. Okay, and then the eyeshadow palette I'm talking about is Honey Amber. This came out this year. And you've got a really lovely kind of like clay, almost terracotta shade. You've got a soft, very creamy to the touch matte pink, and then the shimmers are a kind of a nude one and a mid-neutral brown. Well, that one's got a slight glow to it. That's the only true matte. That is what I would call, that's kind of like a satin without any shimmer, and these two have quite a bit of shine. I love all the shades in this. This, it's just struck me, is probably quite similar to the orange in the Chanel Le Beige Golden, the summer release, that people are a bit worried about. But I don't apply it with that intensity. I go very soft with it. But I really love this quad. Okay, let's go. And then I have two full-on lipsticks. I could not resist this Cherry Blossom like case. So this is like the one where you have the mirror where you pull it out like that and it pops up. So this shade, which is kind of a brown neutral shade, this is a satin lipstick, not a matte. I absolutely love this color, and it is 131. And then the other one, I don't have a case, so I just swap them in and out of this case, is much more pink, and that one is 518. I will link them all. I don't know if they're limited or just always available, but when I want to go, do you see that they both coordinate with the eyeshadow? Whoop, the applicators have fallen out. So you can take it more pinky or more browny. Okay, and then I just have two of the beautiful balms, but I have the Pearly version. So they had these just shine and colour, and then these are they've got a bit of sparkle. So I first got Pearly Lily, which is blue, and I often wear this under my Dior Blue Mania Maximizer, just to kind of blue on blue to get more bluey showing through, but I love that one. And then I also have Pearly Blossom, which is just a neutral, nudie, pinky kind of shade. With a little bit of a hint of warmth, like it's got slightly tanny brown. So those are my Guerlain products. So before I start, I'm going to say that with 90% of foundations, I don't get a very good result with a brush because I need to work it in to my nose and chin and this part of my forehead. So I have prepared a damp sponge. But I also have a new Guerlain Kabuki that I'd forgotten I'd bought. And this was all sat in a bag waiting to film for weeks and weeks. And I got this beautiful wooden-handled little Kabuki brush ages ago to try with these foundations, and because apparently they give an amazing effect, and also to use with my Chanel Le Beige bronzer. So I might do one side with the Kabuki and one side with a sponge. Let's do that. I'm going to pick it up on the Beauty Blender. I'm just going to tap it in. There will be a little bit of editing while I kind of move into my magnifying mirror here to check. I feel like my makeup on camera looks very ham-fisted and not great, and my makeup application in normal life when I'm not filming is much better. I don't know exactly why that is. Nerves or self-awareness, I don't know. I'll do my best. So yeah, the 1.5 is the best shade for me, and I think that in future I may get the 1.5 in the matte as well, because I mostly would use that in the winter. I used a whole pump on one side of my face, and when I use my fingers or a brush, I can use 1.5 pumps for the whole face. So the sponge has obviously eaten up some. You can still see some pigmentation and flaws, but for a daytime look, I'd rather have some of my natural skin showing through. So on the other side, I'm going to do a pump again, and I'm going to use this, but I don't want to splodge this straight in here. So I'm going to use my finger to kind of make sure I get some of this in all areas, and I'm going to leave a bit on my hand to kind of go back if I need a bit more. Yeah, there's more on my face than with the sponge. The sponge holds on to quite a lot of it. So let's see if we can get this to be even. I'm just going to press it in first. So I think this is quite quick. You could sweep it on quite quick, but I'm going to have a look in a minute up close with how it's sitting in my trouble areas, which are the side of my nose, my chin, and between my brows. I can see foundation more on this side. Actually, that's not bad on the side of the nose with this brush. I am surprised. It looks better on this side, but I think that's probably because there's less foundation. I'm aware there's more on this side than this side. So I'm just gonna stipple what I had left on the back of my hand on this side so that it's even. Not bad. Much better than just a normal foundation like a BK Beauty or something, or even a Refa cream product brush that I feel like with both of those, it's nothing to do with those brushes, it's just my skin. So I do think I'm looking forward to trying other foundations that don't sit that great in my pores with this little buffer brush and see if the brush is magic. Okay, now for concealer, I'm just going to use the tiniest bit here, nowhere near my lash line. I've learned to stay away from taking it too far up. I had cryotherapy on these little benign lesions here and here, if you remember them. I used to call them the bran flakes in videos. And they just didn't, what happened was, using retinol and having lasers and different things, I have evened out my skin tone. I mean, still work to do, but those were getting better. And so these that didn't respond to retinol and stuff were just getting worse. And I went back to my aesthetic doctor and she had a good look and a good feel of the texture and said they would respond to cryotherapy. I'm going to use my fingers to take this concealer in because I really need this one to melt into the skin. It can look cakey if you use too much. It lasts really well. It does not move. It does not crease much on me if I go in, you know, with not too much of it. It's not serum-y like my Victoria Beckham or the Westman Atelier is kind of serum-y, but then it really sets down. This is just a classic concealer, but it's a good one. And it never makes me look older and like dry and lined there, as long as I've prepped with a good eye cream and then let that settle for a bit. I really like that. I'm not going to conceal anywhere. I'm not really in the concealing phase at the minute. And I think it's because I'm so delighted that these two brown splodges are just gone that I'm kind of like sometimes even just doing skincare, SPF, mascara and a tinted lip balm. And it's such a novelty not to have something that you're self-conscious about, that you feel you really need to cover up. So I don't have a Guerlain powder, those N14, and this is my wonderful Lancome Skin Refining Setting Powder in the pink. This is the lightest powder I've got in that you can barely even see it. It never looks cakey. It's perfect for me for under the eyes because it stops the creasing but it's almost undetectable. So my favourite two powders at the minute are the YSL All Hours in the loose and then this for pressed, which is funny because I didn't like it the first couple of times I used it. And it's also good for where you feel like you see those pores. It just eliminates it. Like how I felt when I first started using the Givenchy Prisma Libre before they messed it up. Okay, that's the only setting I'm going to do, despite this being a glowy foundation. I'm going to leave the cheeks. I love that powder so much. So much. Okay, so now we're going to do our bronzer and we're going to use the Terracotta Light 2 Medium. And I'm going to use this Face Pro it's a slanted one from Sonia G. So obviously you don't need to throw your makeup brush on the floor to get the same look. Very soft. This is not a beachy, super bronzed kind of summer look. This is just a soft everyday look. And on the forehead, I just kind of dab. Now onto blush. What brush am I going to use? I'm going to use my Refa 05. So I'm going to use 2 of the 3. I'm going to use the light coral and the pearly beige together. So this is the light coral. You don't pick up an intense amount. It's not too powdery, but it's not like a baked cream either. And kind of do a circular swirl it on. I want this to be an airbrushed soft look. Look at that. It's just like a lit from within glow, but it's very subtle. You could build that up. I maybe will put a bit more on before I go out tonight. Now this pearly beige is a blush, but it's almost like a highlighter. It's got a pearly finish, and I can use the same brush. Let me just dust this off on my hand. There's not much sitting on there. So it's almost like a blush topper, or you can see there is real pigment there. So I'm going to just take it where I would put highlighter on the top of the cheek, and the glow it gives is the sweet spot. I'm not really a high shine, kind of high shine highlight girl. I like to just make it look more that my skin is naturally glowy. And this is also nice on the eyes for a very nude look, or I've used it, and I will I sometimes use it to blend because it's lighter even than that one, to pull it all together. So happy doing makeup. I love playing with makeup. Okay, now for the eyes. So I'm going to take a kind of a big fluffy brush. This is a Sonia G Classic Crease. And I'm just going to go in with the pink, this one, the pink matte, and do a wash. And what I learned this year was I was always very scared of warmer pinky or that kind of coppery or almost, dare I say it, slightly reddy or burgundy eyeshadows. And I've learned that if they're sitting above my crease, they actually really warm up my eyes and my face a bit like blush does on the cheek. Just make me look healthy. And then I'm going to take this brown here and I'm going to kind of just go in the V and up to that crease. I'm going out tonight with my friend because I missed her birthday last week and I have a gift to give her. I got her the Chanel Le Beige. This won't go up until after I've given it to her, so don't worry. I got her the Chanel Le Beige eyeshadow palette because she commented on my Instagram story, ooh. And she only does that when something really is like, So I'm really hoping she didn't buy it for herself. And she loves pistachios, so I've made her a batch of pistachio and white chocolate cookies that I saw in a magazine. I really like giving people homemade gifts, even if they're nothing special. I'm not good at fancy icing and all that, but who doesn't like a cookie with a cup of tea? So I'm just going to even that out without the pressure of you watching. That's actually much browner and deeper than I had intended to go. I think it might be this brush. So I am going to get a light synthetic brush, this Nikki LaRose N13, and get a clean brush and like brush up and out to just take some of that intensity down. And I am going to use a little bit of that shade, but I'm going to use it just, I did this the other week and I really liked it. I'm not going to put it on the lid. I'm going to use it underneath. Quite like that. It's a bit different. Although this is all getting a bit extra for the school run. Never mind. I'm wearing joggers, so that should balance it out. Look how that makes the blue in my eyes pop. Browns and oranges really make blue eyes pop. That's a little bit extra. Let's just tone it down a bit. Sorry, this brush set that I was just using is it Mackie or I don't know. That doesn't say on it. It's the garden set from Sonia G at Christmas. with the, so gorgeous. And they're all so useful. I like small eye brushes because it gives me a bit more control about where I'm placing product. And I think actually I need to put some above because it just looks a bit not balanced. So I'm just going to get a small brush and just take a little bit right in the center so that that orange is matched somewhere else. Okay. And then how I mentioned to you before, instead of using any of this really shimmery shade here, I'll just swatch them. They just feel different. This is the blush I used to highlight. This is the Pearly Beige. It's just a bit less shimmery than that one. I would like to put that one on, and I will put a bit of that on when I go out tonight. But for now, I'm just going to use some of this to just go around the edge and make it all really diffused. So before we do lips, I'm just going to go away and do my brows and lashes. Okay, let me take my little Dior freebie clips out. My hair's a bit fluffy because I've just washed it today. Okay, so lips, I've either got my balms, so I'll try those on for you. I'll do the blue first. So it's not blue, it just gives a tiny bit of coolness. Really pretty with some looks, or with no makeup. The next one is Pearly Blossom, which is kind of like a nude that's a bit kind of terracotta-y or bricky. This goes great with this look. There's a little bit of shimmer in these, but it's subtle. And they're really, really hydrating. Onto the lipsticks now. As I said, I've got the pink one, which is 518. But it's like brightening. And with that bit of orange in the lash line, it makes quite a kind of fun, semi-colourful look. So there's that one. I do like that, but I don't wear it as much as the other one. It's in this beautiful Cherry Blossom limited edition case, which I don't think you can get it anymore. So this is the browner kind of tan one, and it is 131. It's a fudgy shade with a bit of brown. It's so wearable. Again, the lights are making it all seem brighter than it is. Let me just tweak. That's quite natural, isn't it? I think I'll leave that one on. I was going to just do the balm, but that looks so nice. So there you go, guys. Those are my Guerlain products and the look. As I said, I can tweak it a bit by doing the pinker tone with the blush on the cheek and more of the pink with the neutral brown and like less of this one. So like that side. I hope you enjoyed.